I can't believe I'm still making videos on this topic. I honestly thought that we would be done at this point. I felt like once Urban Meyer would get fired by the Jacksonville Jaguars, then we no longer would be in a situation where we're all making fun of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And yet the Jacksonville Jaguars are in another absolutely bizarre situation that shouldn't be this difficult. I can't believe I'm saying this, but despite Urban Meyer being fired, this is something that could still decimate the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise. Just a reminder, we're giving away a follower on my Instagram $500. All you have to do is follow me on IG and you've entered for a chance to win $500. In addition to that, if you're a subscriber that turns on our notifications on this channel, you'll also enter for a chance to win $500. Now that we get all that out of the way, break! Having trouble with your dating life? Well, a modern woman wants a modern man, and the modern man never forgets to manscape. Manscaped just brought out their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, which is cordless and waterproof, so you can trim in the shower too. That's super convenient and makes for easy cleanup, especially if you trim in your gym shower. It has a travel lock feature to make sure that this bad boy doesn't go off in your bag, which is really easy to use. You just click it 3 times to enable it and disable it. Also included is the Performance Package 4.0, which includes the Crop Reviver and anti-chafing ball deodorant. Trust me, your balls will thank you. And the Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker Nose Hair Trimmer, which also happens to trim your ears as well, but I don't really need to do that. This thing is an absolute game changer. It has 360-degree rotary blades and the same skin-safe technology as the body trimmer, so it helps prevent tugging and tears in your nose and ears. And right now you get 20% off and free shipping when you use my promo code FLIGHT at manscaped.com. That's promo code FLIGHT for 20% off of your order. And thank you, Manscaped, for the sponsorship. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? I remember it was over a year ago where we were all looking at the New York Jets and saying, damn, you couldn't even tank for Trevor Lawrence properly. As a result, the Jets got the number 2 overall pick. They ended up selecting another quarterback, Zach Wilson, who didn't have the greatest first season to his career, and the jury's out on him. But at least when you look at the New York Jets personnel, there's direction there. You have Mike LaFleur, Matt LaFleur's brother, as the offensive coordinator. You have Robert Saleh as the head coach. This is a team that I actually believe in their development. I don't know so much about Zach Wilson so far, but the defense at the very least should be okay. But when you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, this was a team that was literally handed a Lamborghini, a Ferrari. We've seen so many teams that are literally a competent quarterback away from true contention. Look at the Indianapolis Colts, for example. This is a team that would have easily been a contender over the past couple of years, ever since Andrew Luck retired, had Andrew Luck still played, or if they were able to get a worthy replacement for him. You look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, and if they were healthy and had a good quarterback that wasn't struggling as much as Ben Roethlisberger and a better offensive line, then they may be contenders as well. You look at the New Orleans Saints, they had a tremendous defense. They had a great running attack, but they didn't have a quarterback. All these teams were a quarterback away from true success. So the Jacksonville Jaguars were given a golden opportunity. They had the opportunity to draft the most transcendent quarterback of the past decade, Trevor freaking Lawrence, a can't miss prospect that looked horrible in his first season, and who could blame him? It's crazy because I've been covering the Jacksonville Jaguars the entire year, and so far I found myself making more content and discussing Urban Meyer's actions more than Trevor Lawrence. And now that Urban Meyer is gone, there is a brand new wolf, and his name is Trent Baalke. I don't know if you guys remember, but the Jacksonville Jaguars hiring Trent Baalke originally was a little footnote in comparison to the big hiring of Urban Meyer. And oh my god, I'm pretty confident that I was one of the few that made a pretty big freaking deal out of this hiring. I'm not even a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, and I myself as a football fan was angry at the fact that the Jaguars would hire a general manager that missed on 70% of his draft picks. I mean, look at all of these draft picks and tell me how many of them that you currently are able to recognize. There's probably 8 to 10 players that I actually recognize out of this list. list. And this is throughout a 5-year span. This was a general manager that was so horrible that he ran Jim Harbaugh out of town after the San Francisco 49ers experienced their best success since the Steve Young era. 3 conference championships in the NFC, and he did it so easily too. A head coach like that should be extended and quite possibly in the top 3 highest paid head coaches in the NFL. Instead, Trent Baalke ran him out of town. If you thought maybe Trent Baalke was able to turn over a new leaf, well, the moment he took the Jacksonville Jaguars job, he started making very poor decisions as well, starting with the decision to draft Travis Etienne with his 2nd first-round pick, as opposed to maybe reaching on Tevin Jenkins. And the pick of Travis Etienne wouldn't bother me so much if they didn't have a halfback that was able to rush for over 1,000 yards in his rookie season on a horrible Jacksonville Jaguars team prior to that in James Robinson. Hell, I would have even accepted a wide receiver, a tight end at this position, anything but a running back, which is a luxury position. But things got a little bit worse as time went on. Obviously, Urban Meyer struggled mightily in the NFL, and ultimately, it seems like what was once a very tiny blip on the radar for the Jacksonville Jaguars has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and as a result, Trent Baalke has alienated a decent amount of the head coaches that are interested in the Jacksonville Jaguars job, including Byron Leftwich, and we're going to get to that in a sec. This article came out in the beginning of January saying retaining general manager Trent Baalke will hinder the team's ability to attract top candidates. One agent of a head coach that chose to remain anonymous said that my client would have to fire me to take an interview in Jacksonville under this setup. There's no way, it's totally backwards. Several sources close to the candidates on the Jaguars list said that their clients would agree to a virtual interview with the Jaguars, but would be using the forum to try to gather information about why owner Shad Khan chose to conduct his search with the GM still in place and to ascertain how married to this concept or ownership is. Several executives from other NFL teams who are closely watching the situation in Jacksonville believe that by the end of the process, the Khans will be searching for a general manager due to the reaction from the team's fans, considering the type of feedback they will be getting about Baalke as they go through the interviews. I want you to bear in mind that this article is 1 month old, and I want you to understand how incompetent the Khans are, because one general manager said that this may have sounded like a good idea to them at the time, but things have a way of changing in this league. I'm not saying that they can't get a coach with Trent still there, but they aren't going to like a lot of what they hear. You fast forward to the position we're in now, and it seems like the Jacksonville Jaguars might be choosing Trent Baalke over any potential head coach, because there's this report from Adam Schefter just yesterday that said when the Jaguars' private plane was in Denver on Monday, it wasn't there to take Nathaniel Hackett to Jacksonville for an interview. It was there to pick up former Broncos head coach Vic Fangio, who has interviewed for the Jacksonville Jaguars head coaching job. Per league sources, Fangio is a candidate for the Jaguars. You might be looking at this and saying, dude, what? Why Vic Fangio? Personally, I'm going to be honest, I don't think Vic Fangio is a bad head coach. I just don't think he's the right head coach for this situation. I don't think he should be judged based off of his performance in Denver, because I don't think he was given a proper quarterback to actually compete with. His defenses were really good in Denver. He actually did pretty well with the team that he was given. I really hope he gets another chance with the team that is right for him. And if they don't, then he might be just destined to be a defensive coordinator. But as time went on, we got multiple reports about something that Jacksonville Jaguars fans might be excited about, saying hearing that the Jags are close to hiring Adrian Wilson as their GM and Byron Leftwich as their head coach. Now, according to Ian Rappaport, this isn't necessarily true. It's something that was put out there. We don't know by whose camp. It's not by Byron Leftwich's camp, because typically you don't put things out there until they actually go down. And it seems like Trent Baalke is still in place for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Apparently, they haven't even contacted Adrian Wilson yet. But what is also going down here is supposedly Byron Leftwich prefers Adrian Wilson and will take the job if Adrian Wilson comes along. I don't really understand what the conversation here is. I don't really know why it's so difficult for some teams. I think Byron Leftwich is a great play caller and would be fantastic for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jags fans want Leftwich so badly that apparently, according to Front Office Sports, Jaguars fans are buying old Byron Leftwich jerseys. It's the #2 best-selling jersey behind Trevor Lawrence. For those of you that don't know, Byron Leftwich actually played quarterback for the Jaguars in the mid-2000s. But here's where we currently currently stand. According to Chris Porter, a source tells him that Byron Leftwich is the Jaguars' pick, but the holdup is over who will have control over the roster. Leftwich wants Trent Baalke out, and the Jaguars want to hire Adrian Wilson, who is the vice president of pro scouting with the Cardinals. I'm assuming Byron Leftwich and Adrian Wilson worked together when they were in Arizona together during the Bruce Arians era. It's absolutely hysterical that the Jaguars might choose Trent Baalke, who hasn't really done anything great for them so far and historically has just been horrible for other teams, over Byron Leftwich. This is a guy that straight up was able to end one of the most dominant San Francisco 49ers teams, and that's pretty much all he has to show for his career so far. I really wonder what Shad Khan sees in Trent Baalke that is keeping him in play, but it just seems like this entire situation is once again still a circus. Here's my issue with the whole situation. Shouldn't the Jacksonville Jaguars be trying to look for a head coach that fits in with Trevor Lawrence, not a head coach that's fitting in with Trent Baalke? I think that's the biggest issue of it all, and I'm really concerned about the future for Trevor Lawrence. This is year 2, and if they squander this year of his development and hire the wrong guy that doesn't put Trevor in a situation to succeed, they could waste one of the greatest NFL prospects that we've ever seen. And if Trevor Lawrence becomes a draft bust, then I'm blaming the Jacksonville Jaguars, because this is clearly one of those instances where a front office is so freaking incompetent that they don't know what to do with an absolutely remarkable talent like Trevor Lawrence. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this, man. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.